I remember a stretch of a few years where the going away parties started to blur into one another. There was always a sheet cake in the conference room, the same slightly forced well wishes, the same awkward collection of signatures on a card. At first, each departure felt significant, a small tear in the fabric of the team. But after a while, a strange and unsettling numbness set in. It just became normal, a predictable part of the rhythm of the place. The person would leave, their desk would sit empty for a few weeks, and then a new person would appear. We got very, very good at the first part, the leaving, and the last part, the starting. We perfected the goodbye and hello, but we never got good at understanding the space in between. We never really confronted the silence left behind or asked what the echoing quiet of those empty desks was trying to tell us. We mistook the constant motion for progress. We talked about new energy and fresh perspectives, but all that churn wasn't building anything. It was just tilling the same soil over and over, never giving anything a chance to take root. Feedback from an empty room. The standard response to someone leaving is the exit interview, a ritual that has always felt like an autopsy. It's a structured attempt to learn from an ending, but it's often too little, too late. The most honest feedback isn't found in a carefully worded answer to an HR representative. It's in the quiet pattern of empty chairs. When someone leaves, it's rarely a sudden decision. It's the final step in a long, internal process of weighing pros and cons, a calculation made over months of frustration, feeling unheard, or seeing a better path elsewhere. The exit interview only captures the final, polite justification, not the thousand small cuts that led to the departure. The real cost is the loss of institutional memory, what I think of as a knowledge shadow. It's not just about losing a person who knows how to do a task. It's about losing the context, the history of past decisions, the informal relationships, and the subtle understanding of how things really get done. Each departure leaves the remaining system a little less intelligent and a little more fragile. The burden on the people who stay is immense and often invisible. They are left to absorb the extra work, train the next replacement, and navigate the emotional whiplash, all while wondering if they should be the next one to go. This survivor's doubt is corrosive. It turns your most loyal people into your most likely flight risks. The illusion of the clean slate. There's a dangerous temptation for leaders to view turnover as a healthy clearing of the decks. It creates an illusion of agency. We're bringing in new talent. We're shaking things up. But this often masks a deeper inability to cultivate and retain the talent already in the room. We become experts at recruiting and onboarding, but amateurs at the long, slow work of retention. We pour enormous resources into the first 90 days of an employee's journey. There are welcome kits, structured training plans, and check-ins galore. But what about day 500 or day 1000? We often stop actively investing in and listening to people precisely at the moment they've become most valuable to us. Culture is a cumulative asset built over time through shared history and trust. A revolving door of talent prevents a deep culture from ever forming. Instead, you get a transactional environment. People don't invest in relationships or take risks when they suspect their team might look completely different in 6 months. You inevitably lose the constructive dissenters. The people with enough history to say, "We tried something like that a few years ago, and here's the part we need to watch out for." These are not cynics. They are your institutional guardrails. When they leave, they are often replaced by people who don't know the terrain, making the organization more likely to walk off a cliff it has already narrowly avoided. Learning to listen to the room. The only way to break the cycle is to stop seeing departures as the primary signal. An empty chair is a lagging indicator. The real work is learning to listen to the quieter, more subtle frequencies in the room long before anyone starts polishing their resume. It's about creating a place that is easier to stay in and contribute to than it is to leave. Treat feedback as a continuous conversation, not a scheduled event. It's in the questions people ask during a meeting, the tone of a Slack channel, the projects that people are excited about, and the ones they quietly avoid. Paying attention to these ambient signals is a form of listening. Instead of fixating on exit interviews, start practicing stay interviews. Actively and regularly ask your best people, what's keeping you here? What's one thing that, if it changed, would make your work better? What part of your job feels most meaningful? This shifts the focus from diagnosing failure to reinforcing success. The ultimate act of retention is creating psychological safety. It's fostering an environment where speaking up with a difficult truth, offering a dissenting opinion, or admitting a mistake is not only safe but welcomed. When leaving is the safest way to give feedback, it means you've failed at creating a culture where it's safe to stay and speak. Key takeaways. Leaving isn't feedback. It's the result of feedback going unheard for too long. The true cost of turnover isn't just recruitment, but the invisible erosion of knowledge, culture, and trust among those who remain. An obsessive focus on hiring without an equal focus on retention creates a revolving door, not a dynamic culture. Stop waiting for the exit interview. The most valuable conversations you can have are with the people who haven't left yet. Ask them why they stay.